Alright, here we go. What are we talking about today?
Building a resume with stuff you can find on the CAL's website.
Technology stuff? Oh, yeah. Mr. Dan knows a lot about technology stuff. Yeah, see? Mr. Dan keeps technology with him all the time. So, you just put this in a computer and what? Oh, nobody uses floppy disks anymore? Then what do you use? Hello, small patrons, and welcome to Mr. Dan's Real World. Today, Mr. Dan is going to talk to you guys about building a resume using resources from the Central Arkansas Library System that the Nixon Library in Jacksonville is a part of. Now, small patrons, job hunting can be a difficult task to complete, especially these days, and especially if you're just a young, small patron starting out in the real world. You need the job to gain experience, but you need experience to get the job, all that stuff. But one complicated feature of job hunting is resume building. It is a befuddlement more confusing than Fermat's Enigma. It is a piece of literature that is one of the hardest to write. But never fear, the Central Arkansas Library System has several job hunting resources for you, small patron, to help you create a resume and interview for that job. But today, we are going to be looking at 2 resume building sites that the Central Arkansas Library System has partnered with. The first is Cypress Resume. The second is BrainFuse JobNow. So join Mr. Dan as we gather together to go on this journey of building a resume.
Okay, small patrons. Once you have found yourself on a computer of some kind, you want to go to the Central Arkansas Library System's website, cals.org. That's CALS.org. Once you get to the home page, you're gonna go to Learn. And just bring your cursor over to Research Tools under the Research part of the menu. Now that you're on the Research Tools page, let's hit Career. Okie dokie. So, there are some really great resources here for you guys. Nice little databases. Hey, there it is. BrainFuse JobNow. We're gonna get to that in a minute. What we're gonna start out with is Cypress. Now there's Cypress Resume. Let's go. Once you get here, you are going to put in your library card number. So this is the number that is on the back of your card, right under your barcode. Okay, once you have put your library card number in, you are now on the Cypress webpage. So you can start with your resume, and you can also do cover letters and reference sheets. And then if you have a profile with them, you'll have access to all of your documents. For now, let's just do the resume stuff. Alright, so they give you 2 options. Small patrons, you can do strictly business, or you can do editor's choice. This is going to be a bit more stylized, and this is just going to be getting down to business. Mr. Dan thinks he is going to go with strictly business. Okay, and Cypress is great because you put in all of your information and it makes the resume for you. Mr. Dan is going to put his information in and get back with you guys in a second. This is the part where you are going to enter your employment history, putting the most recent first. And they give you up to 3 slots to fill in. You can fill in more if you have more work history. Mr. Dan is going to put this in real quick. If you are still currently employed, check that box. Alright, once you have put down all your work history and it all looks good, you're going to move on to next section. Now, you small patrons, teenagers, hey, how's it going? You may not have a lot of work history, and that's okay. You may not have any work history. If that's the case, then you really don't need a resume. Now this part, enter your educational history. This is going to be a big deal if you are still in high school. And if you are currently attending your high school or college / university, just hit I'm currently attending. So let's hit next section. If you have any special certificates, certifications, or training, you can add them here. So we have entered all of our information. Now we're going to look for a job title. You can do a quick search. Say that Mr. Dan was looking for a librarian job, and you'll be taken to step 2, where you can review descriptions. But you can also browse by industry or browse by job title. So we're gonna browse by industry. Okay, once you do that, you will select a profession. So, business operations specialists, first-line supervisors, librarians, library technicians, museum technicians, and conservators. So let's look at library technician. So this looks good. It kind of has all of the basic stuff for working at a library, so let's select this job. Proceeding to step 3. Now you're going to choose professional profile statement. And this is basically the part where you kind of show off your skills. You want it to be well written, but also concise. And that is relevant to the job that you are applying for. And then up here, it'll give you a number of stuff you gotta choose from. Okay, once you have selected all that Cypress has told you to select, you can move on to the next one. So software and tools selection. So this will be stuff that in your experience at working at a library, you can work with easily. So WorldCat, yep. Web browser software, yep. Internet browser software, oh yeah, all the time. Library software, hey Sierra. Microsoft Word, yep. So skills and ability section. Now this is really great because not only will you get suggestions that are relevant to the resume you're building, you can also rate them and put them in order. Oral comprehension. Mr. Dan is excellent at that. Oh yeah, Mr. Dan needs one more. Always good to pay attention and carefully work through this. So let's see. Next section, creating your resume. Cypress has created the resume and Mr. Dan can view it. This is what it looks like. I'll have your name, where you are, your phone, and your email. There's your professional profile and core competencies. It has all of the professional statements that Mr. Dan has selected and the skills and ability section that he has figured out as well. All right, and it's got the work history and the education, and it's all in order for you. So you can download the PDF and get that printed off, or you can just keep it saved to Cypress. So that was Cypress. Let's go to BrainFuse. BrainFuse JobNow. BrainFuse JobNow is really great because it has live interview coaching that you can do from 2 to 11 every day. It also has a resume lab where a job coach will give feedback within about 24 hours. You can also download resume templates. Let's go there. Okay, so this is BrainFuse JobNow, brought to us by the Central Arkansas Library System. If you want to log in, so let's do resume templates. BrainFuse gives you 3 options. You can do a chronicle resume template, which just lists each job you've held in order. They say that it works well if you have several years of relevant experience. You have the combination resume, that lists your experience and skills first, and then your employment history next, which is kind of like the resume we ended up with on Cypress. And then we have the functional resume template, and this will focus on your experience and skills rather than chronological work history. These guys say it works well for people who are changing careers or who have gaps in their employment history. We're gonna have a combination. So once you hit that, pop up there, that template, and you'll be able to work with that. Go to resume resources, and it'll give you guides on how to polish your resume, give you a resume writing tutorial here, and it'll help if you're making a military resume as well. So if you have given yourself an account then you can upload your file from your computer or from Cloud Pack. Mr. Dan doesn't know what that is. And then if you have some details about the job or what your resume is all about, you can add that here, and that'll give you some more personalized feedback, and it'll let the person who is reviewing your resume know what they need to focus on. And then you'll hit submit. Within 24 hours, you will receive some feedback on how to make your resume pretty dope.
Well, small patron, that's all the time we have for today. Mr. Dan hopes that you found this video on how to create a resume with Cypress and BrainFuse JobNow friendly and informational, just like the Crocodile Hunter. And if you want something a bit more in-depth about the job hunting resources available on the Central Arkansas Library System's website, cals.org, that's CALS.org. You can always check out the YouTube video on the Central Arkansas Library System's YouTube page. It is titled Library Resources for the Job Hunt, and that particular video is hosted by Mr. Nathan Smith. Mr. Dan has never met Mr. Nathan Smith, but he did watch that video, and he thinks Mr. Nathan is a pretty swell guy. Always remember, small patrons, be righteous to one another, take care of each other, and Mr. Dan, we'll see you next time. Flex break. Ugh. Ugh. Ugh.